Greetings, fair and whatever people of time in the multiverse. I am not the Farshnook, just the moron who writes him, and yeah, this still is not an EDA review. And I'm going to be honest, which once upon a time was not such a bold statement to say I was going to make. But basically, seems like some of you don't understand what's going on, or if you do, you're being stupid about it. So I'm gonna kind of lay some stuff on the line and kind of explain what the fuck's going on. Because basically, like, people still don't fucking know. So I'm gonna fucking explain. And this isn't a, hey, we have a weakness we can attack, because kind of, if you've seen Hello Hello, this is me saying, listen very carefully, I shall say this only once. um and quite probably literally only once, seeing as I have recorded several different videos on this same kind of theme, and then generally what happens is I delete it the next morning when I realise, actually no, hang on, I don't really give a shit about telling these people what's going on. But anyway, let's do this proper thing, shall we, after the obligatory jump cut, so that I don't have to spend an hour waiting for it to begin when rendering. Okay, so I have been getting a lot of very negative comments for fucking ages. This isn't about them. You don't matter. You don't. Yeah, there are reasons that I have removed my videos. Still not about you. I have been in a bad way, in a bad place for quite some time, actually. I mean, basically, the year before I graduated university, I was like, okay, so there's a good chance that the Christmas after I graduate, I'm going to end up committing suicide, so I need to remind myself that I have the strength to resist. And that's why I decided to take on the name that I did, because it was reminding myself that, yeah, I had been in a bad place before and I had survived. And then it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the commenters are only tiniest sprinklings of snowflakes atop the iceberg of shit that landed on my head. I have Kalman syndrome, which basically Google it. It's KALLMAN_S syndrome. Kalman syndrome. And I also have growth hormone deficiency. And those two things combined with autism make for a very fucked up life. And you combine that with the fact that I'm fairly certain that I've got some kind of undiagnosed delayed sleep phase disorder, because literally my sleep pattern is not a pattern, it's not a cycle, it's just literally my body's fucked. It vaguely cycles around, but then sometimes I will get, I mean, this is the other thing, is that I didn't used to have naps. Basically, since I started the testosterone injection, I've started having to take naps. my immune system is weaker, and I have fallen to all kinds of colds and bugs, and it's like, it's not, yeah, a lot of things are combining at the moment to make me into a hermit. Um, and not all of it is autism. Some of it is just, you know what? The world is full of people who have bugs and colds and decide to not vaccinate themselves. So maybe I don't want to go out there and expose myself to bugs and germs when my immune system is a bit fucking weak. But I have been, I will cycle around, and then just sometimes, for seemingly no reason, my body just says no. Sleep now, and it's just, that's actually what fucked me up the other day, was that I was literally in town with someone else, so I couldn't just go back myself. This was one of those awful occasions where a social situation stops you from just saying, you know what, I've reached my physical wall, I have to go now, I can't stop this, I have to go or I'm going to drop. And sometimes neurotypical people are very thick when it comes to understanding, hey, I can't do anything about this, I need to fucking go. So that was one of those situations where literally I just had to like walk out in the middle of a fucking supermarket and just like literally run to a lamppost and start taking breathers, because I was physically overloaded and physically too tired, and my body was just screaming, get to a bed, you fucking moron. I am disabled. I am. But I am disabled in ways that society doesn't give a shit about. And I'm disabled in ways that I still don't fully understand myself. Never mind fucking average people on the street. I actually know someone who's got medical anxiety, and like as soon as they heard about my condition, they were like, okay, this is what I think it is, and this is what I think you should do. And I was just like, no, you don't know anything, so just shut up. Right? So that's one factor, which is the fact that I'm literally physically in a bad place. Literally physically not well. And physically not well in the sense of, this is never going to get better. I mean, basically, what I'm hoping for to make my life easier is that essentially at some point I will be able to just like have a monthly injection of hydrocortisone or something. Like, well, no, what I really want is to just have, okay, here's your 10 yearly injection of hydrocortisone and testosterone, and it will just sort everything out itself, right? That's what I would like. But instead, I have this very awkward thing where, like, I am the kind of person who, even when I'm going to like Sainsbury's or whatever, will just be like, self-service. I don't want to speak to anyone. When I'm going out in town, I have my headphones on, I don't speak to anybody, and I have to go to a person and get a needle in my back so that I can have testosterone to be a healthy individual. And small talk ensues. I hate small talk at the best of times. I especially hate small talk when I've got a painful needle in my back. And, you know, let's be honest, right? Yeah, I have a bit of a problem with fragile masculinity. Okay? You know, I was actually an anti-feminist for a little bit back there in university. You know, it's at this point I am resigned to the fact that basically everything I write has submissive women in it. So it's very fucking awkward to have literally my testosterone injected into my back and be having to make fucking small talk whilst that is happening. And it's like nothing that 4chan or 8chan or I don't know fucking, you know, infinity grade eternity chan could ever do will ever be worse than the experience of waiting there in this fucking office, waiting for this needle, and it's like, this is my manhood right there. And I have to wait and make awkward small talk whilst this thing that I need to keep alive is there. And it's fragile masculinity is something you want to avoid, people. You know, if you can avoid that, your life will be better. Because I'm aware that 90% of the reason that experience is so very awkward and terrible for me is my own neuroses. But it's there, and it's awkward and uncomfortable, and if I didn't need it, I wouldn't fucking do it. And equally, like, I have pills that I need to take twice a day in order to not die. And no, I don't have any graphic descriptions to give you so you can write your hate thick about watching me die, right? I don't have any nice gory descriptions for you to wank over, okay? I don't know what happens if I stop taking the pills. I just know I'm not gonna fucking stop taking the fucking pills. And that's even aside from the fact that, like, there are still monsters in my life. There are still people in my life who are genuinely toxic and manipulative and occasionally violent and really quite aggressive, and they try fucking hard to be intimidating. And the fact that I have to put up this front against them to defend myself, and that this front is itself toxic in that you know, I am not actually a person who is keen on being aggressive. You know, I spent the last 3 years having a fucking PTSD because I wrote a bad fucking fanfic, right? I don't like the fact that I have to front up and be this bravado of toxic masculinity to stop this toxic individual from being a monster in my life. And there is also the fact that, like, yeah, we live in a world that is just shitty to autistic people. Because we still don't understand what it's called. There are still parents who are like, who would rather their children were named after a fucking Nazi than that they were named the fucking condition that they fucking have. It's autism. Even Hans Asperger named it fucking autism. But the reason that you call it Asperger's syndrome is because, well, it doesn't sound as bad as autism. We would rather someone was named after a Nazi than that they had the actual fucking condition that they have. Let that fucking sink in. And oh yeah, I've fucked both ways, because thanks to my Kalman syndrome, my immune system, thanks to my Kalman syndrome and growth hormone deficiency, my immune system is weakened. And the anti-vaxxer movement is simultaneously saying they would rather children die than be born autistic, but it is also actually making it worse for me as an autistic person with fucking Calvin syndrome and growth hormone deficiency, in that simultaneously it is increasing the rise of bigotry against autistic people, and it is making it so that I'm more likely to get bugs and viruses and what have you, because it's ruining herd immunity across the globe. And in a fucked up way, I can't think of any greater advert to the fucking anti-vaxxer community than, hey, it'll piss off this guy on YouTube. Although that's probably me being very pessimistic and cynical, which is why I kind of haven't been uploading videos, to be honest. Or part of it anyway. Yeah, we live in a world that is very anti-autistic. And a big way that this is an anti-autistic world is that I literally, I can't deal with people. People just, I literally being in the same room as a person will physically drain me and make me tired, and I will have to go and have a lie down afterwards because of how stressful it was. And it's like, social skills are a thing that I have to consciously perform. And if I'm tired, if I'm stressed, or if I'm distracted, then my social skills are worse. And once a month, I have to meet with Universal Credit, and I have to speak face to face to a person. And it's like, here is a thing that by the time I turn up to, I'm tired, because yeah, what are the fucking chances that my sleeping madness happens to align perfectly with being able to get up on time for the fucking Universal Credit meeting? So I'm tired when I get there. I'm stressed because these are the people who can say, no, you don't get to eat. And basically, I'm actually kind of big into the BDSM community, but honestly, Universal Credit is the worst dom ever, and everything they say is, you must do this, or it could affect your money. Do this, or it could affect your money. It's like a dom saying, I'll punish you. I'll punish you. Do this right now, or I'll punish you. And it's like, okay, dude, I want a safe word. Give me a fucking safe word, because this is not healthy right now. And I'm making light of it, but Jesus fucking Christ, every single thing they put out, every form, the meeting that they send you to, every note they send about going to a meeting or whatever is, oh, by the way, if you don't attend, then the money that you get could be affected. And that's basically saying, oh, by the way, if you don't do exactly as we say, you starve. That's literally what they're saying, right? If you don't do as we say, you don't have the money to live. Go you, right? So I'm tired and I'm stressed. And oh yeah, I have to go to this fucking office out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it's full of all these different kinds of people, which has got my autism and social anxiety going like mad, and it's terrible. It's fucking terrible. It is like hell for an autistic person. And what's even worse is that because basically the Conservatives got into power because people were queuing outside the dole queue, literally that's why Thatcher got elected with the whole Labour isn't working thing of people queuing outside to get the olden days equivalent of Universal Credit. Because of that, you aren't allowed to turn up early to Universal Credit. You aren't. And people that I can depend on to get lifts have general anxiety disorder, which means that they are literally physically incapable of not turning up an hour early to things. So that's not good. That's not good. Um, which is why I generally have to walk in. Which means, yay, even more tired, even more distracted, because generally, like, the way I deal with a walk is I will be listening to podcasts, or I will be listening to music and thinking up thinking up ideas for my stories. So yeah, I'm literally there with ideas buzzing around my head, and then it's like, okay, let's go sit in a room. And the thing that's even more insane is that it's like, I've been in this situation for the last 3 years. I know nothing is changing. And yet, I am sitting with someone whose whole job, literally their entire fucking job, is get this person off universal credit into a job. And I'm like, I know that isn't gonna fucking happen. So it's like 15 minutes to an hour of just the most awkward talking ever, as they are like, we will try this tactic this time, or this tactic this time. And it's just like, no, I know the limitations of my body. I know the situation I am in. I know I am stuck. I am just trying to get the money to not fucking die. And the thing is, so many different people have so many different opinions on this. And it really stresses me the fuck out, because I like I like systems. It's the way my brain works as an autistic person. I like systems. I like thinking about systems and complexity. It's why I write a sci-fi series about the fucking multiverse, right? This stuff interests me. I like capitalism because it is a system of incentivization. What is happening at the moment to capitalism is a perversion. It is a system that is incentivizing the destruction of the system right now. There are capitalists who are, I say that as though it's a minority. No, the majority of capitalists right now, in charge of banks or in charge of companies or whatever, are actively undermining the economy, undermining the free market, undermining their own incomes out of a short-sighted attempt to get more money. And so this is something that genuinely makes me fucking angry, is the fact that I am seen as the weak link in the system, not the fact that the people actually with the money are actively fucking over the system. And it's like, I am fully aware of how just tiny the income that I get is in comparison to just any of the actual, incomes in the world that matter. Um, Even when you multiply it by the amount of people who are actually on benefits in the UK, and I still don't like that they are called benefits, because they're no, they're not benefits, right? Frankly, at this point, it would be a fucking benefit to me if a Nazi did turn up and blow my fucking brains out, because I'm an atheist. Once I stop existing, I'm not aware of the pain and the tiredness and the bullshit, right? But no, it's not benefits, it's social security payments. It's here. Stay alive. People want you alive. You are not able to be a commercial unit if you are dead. Have money, live, contribute to the economy. I live because there are people I care about who I want to be alive for. And because, sometimes life isn't so bad. And I am doing stuff that matters to me. I've got this big huge story that I'm working on that is now over 400,000 words. And yeah, it's gonna need drafting like fuck, but I'm really kind of happy with it and quite proud of it. And maybe this is just the rush because I'm getting close to the ending, but yeah, I am really kind of quite happy and proud of it. And like the first nuke is gonna be back. And I'm coming to terms with the fact that what I did, that I was transphobic. Like I genuinely I was, and it wasn't just it wasn't just the fanfic. It was the fact that I was a fucking moron who saw in a trans community, in the trans community, a people who could understand what it was like to be to have Kalman syndrome. I was wrong. If you have Kalman syndrome, if you're me with Kalman syndrome, then when you look in the mirror, it feels like some fucking eldritch experience. You don't fucking say to trans people that it's a fucking eldritch experience. Yeah, when this guy who was a fan of this person that I kind of was offensive to without realizing, when this guy pointed that out to me, at first I was like, but I meant it well, but now I understand. And I am still coming to terms with understanding how all these little things that I said were just fucking horrible. But of course nobody's gonna fucking correct you because this is the fucking internet. Because you don't start those sorts of conversations, because if you start them with one person, then all the dickheads and edgelords and genuine fascists are gonna be like, well, you've got to talk to me now. You talk to him, you've got to talk to me, so come on, trans person, justify your existence. And it's like, yeah, of course they're not gonna fucking do that. And I am so sorry for the way that I utterly misunderstood the situation and that I fucked everything in so many ways. I don't give a shit about 4chan. They sent a spider to my house. I love spiders. If I had known, oh by the way, we're gonna send a spider to your house, I'd have gotten away to look after the fucking spider. But that's not what you sent me. What happened was that there was a suspicious package that turned up on the doorstep of people. Like, you don't fucking send suspicious packages to people's houses. We thought it was a fucking bomb. Police got involved. I love spiders. And that spider died because someone on 4chan was a dickhead and a moron. It's actually kind of why a theme of this story is that, yeah, actually spiders are friends of the Farshnuk. Like, literally, the main heroine of this story, of this entire story collection, in fact, is called the Great Red Spider. And, you know, I have written a scene into this story where the Farshnuk literally has a massive pet spider. Because I love spiders. I think spiders are rad. They're glorious, gorgeous, eight-legged furry things. Of course I love them. I love sharks, for fuck's sake. And you think I'm going to be like, ah, it's a spider. I'm going to be so scared. My brain doesn't work like yours. Even if you're autistic, it still doesn't work like yours, because autism is a fucking spectrum. And because the way my autism interacts with Kalman syndrome and growth hormone deficiency, and with the fucking upbringing that I've had, yeah, things are different. Anyway, I think that about brings me to the end of things for today, because I've got more writing to do. And it's coming up to the ending, so I'm really liking this and looking forward to this. And in fact, I've got another really big proofreading thing to do, because I've got to check the timings of when events happen. And then it's gonna be writing the big final fighty climax thing. And then after that, after the big final fighty climax, I have it's really the wrap up, and like, hey, tying it into the ongoing story continuity. And this is what all the 400,000 words build up has been for. So I'm really, really happy actually to be just doing this stuff. Also, I had this kind of astounding revelation the other day, which is that basically at the start of this is a well, it's not really a tangent, because I have officially ended the discussion beforehand, so fuck it. Back in the day, when I first sort of graduated university, I was like, I had been doing all this walking in Wolverhampton, where I had been to university. So when I came back here, I was like, okay, I need to make it so that I do exercise. Because the way I look at life is, nothing is going to work to help keep me fit if it is something I have to do on top of my lifestyle. I have to fit it into my lifestyle. So I'm like, okay, give me the money, and I will have to go walk up the road to get food, right? Because there's a hill, so I like walk to this place where there's a hill, and I walk up the hill to the shops, and I get food, right? It's a little difficult in the sense of, like, I still need bottles of Diet Coke, because yes, I need the caffeine. And yeah, I have considered that maybe this is why my sleeping pattern is so fucked up. But on the other hand, like, I've got a problem, but still, it's a problem that is manageable and keeps me alive. So anyway, I do actually have runs up in the car of someone I know to go up to one of these shops and just get a job lot of Diet Coke and ferry it back to this house, so it's all nice and stocked up. I say house, what I mean is actually elaborate sky mansion, or flat. We live out in the Lake District anyway. So the point is that I started off saying I must do walking, because otherwise I will literally starve. And then I started walking just because I felt like it. And then it was like, okay, well, I'm going to walk into town. And I've realized I have now reached the point where, because it has been snowy, I haven't been able to go for a walk. So what I have been doing instead is I have been literally walking around the kitchen table. Literally, I will be listening to music and just walking in circles, pacing around the fucking kitchen table at like 4 a.m. at night. And there is part of me that is self-aware enough to realize this must look really fucking dodgy. Because I'm there listening to, say, Hamilton or something in the middle of the night with the lights off, because I've reached that point of autism where, like, genuinely, if the lights are low and there's less stimulation from the light, that feels better. And that's actually why I kind of like having music on, because it it stops me hearing the other sounds, like of people watching TV in the next room or whatever. So what I will do is I will pace round this table at like 4 a.m. in the morning whilst listening to music, and I will be running through the scenes I want to write in my story. And sometimes I'll like mouth them aloud, or like sort of act out the scenes a little, because I want to get the energy right. And so I'm very much aware that it must look insane that I am pacing round the table at night with my headphones on in the dark, with this very serious expression on my face, maybe saying odd intense things to myself as I'm walking around the table, and I'm like, yeah, this probably does look odd. But anyway, related, the reason I mentioned this oddness is the fact that I've basically now realised that genuinely, since I'm already doing it, because I'm already just walking around in a circle, it would make sense for my lifestyle for me to get a treadmill. And so genuinely, I feel like I might be about to get a treadmill. Just because I'm already doing this. Right? The only difference is that I won't have to walk around in a circle. I'll just walk on literally the same spot. Just you know, get my music on, get my podcast on, get my jams on, and just walk for fucking who knows how long. And in fact, that way I could keep track of it and say, I walked like 5 miles last night. Which is really stupid and really sad, but I'm really kind of happy considering that, like, I did used to be so unfit, and, like, I am thinner. This is the one thing that, like, genuinely I feel physically tired, and I have pain in my ankles, because basically I think, like, muscle weighs more than fat, and I have more muscle. So suddenly it's like my shitty diet is not good enough, and so I am genuinely taking, like, you know, pills for calcium or whatever to strengthen my bones. But yeah, I have pain in my feet, I have headaches, I have nosebleeds. Things are not good, but hey, I look more normal, and I am thinner, and yeah, I'm looking a bit sexy. I mean, okay, it's still me, so it's still kind of, you know, insane, but still, I'm feeling happy about how I look, which kind of is a new thing for me. But yeah, I'm genuinely thinking I might get myself a treadmill, which is a thing. Yeah, I stopped with the weightlifting basically because I realised my arms are about as good as I want them to be, because aesthetically speaking, I don't really like men who have too big a biceps. I mean, like, you know, you do you, like, you do you, dudes. But, like, you know, as a bisexual guy, I'm like, at a certain point, I don't want, I'm personally would rather not be too muscly in the arm department. But yeah. Also, like, let's address some fucking things while I'm here. Before I wrap up. When are the videos going to go back up? They aren't. I have the videos private so that if you try to upload bootleg copies, they will be deleted. That's it. That's literally it. Because basically, like, my past, I said a lot of shit that was problematic, and I can't be fucked to go through and filter it. And also, like, I am aware that basically what is happening is that there is a global war against Nazis going on, and that I am effectively, like, I am one of the people in the Grand Riddicker plan against the zombie Nazi epidemic that is basically holding up for as long as I can so that the zombie Nazis will scrabble pointlessly against my defenses. And so it's like, I'm not just gonna go throw some chum out in the water for you. To mix metaphors very fucking terribly. I'm not just gonna like expose my entrails and be like, there, have an eat, zombie Nazis. No, this isn't what this is about. You get blocked, your comments do not get allowed, you slowly starve to death. That's how this works. And also, let's address the sort of the elephant in the room. Okay? I have cardigans. I have multiple cardigans. I have cardigans that are like this with the buttons, and I also have grey cardigans with zips. And also, I don't give a shit what you think. I know how often I change my cardigans. I know how often I wash my cardigans. And I know that you and your skanky opinions are wrong. So, fuck off. It's really as simple as that. These people being like, oh dude, you're wearing the same cardigan. It's like, yeah, I washed it several times since the last time I made that video. I like the cardigan. Why would I not wear the fucking cardigan that I like if I have washed it? Oh no! What will the Nazis who already have sent me death threats and written hate fic about me, what will they possibly say and think about me if I wear the cardigan twice in a row in my videos? I don't care. You fuckers long since crossed the lines of me giving a shit what you think. You are just a bunch of crazy hobos screaming at me insane gibberish, and it's like, okay, crazy hobos, I don't care. Fuck off now. So yeah, videos not going to be allowed back. The EDAs are still going to continue once I have finished this story. And yeah, I'm really happy for this story. And yeah, I have many cardigans. I change my cardigans regularly. It's just that you literally only see videos very occasionally. So, you know, grow the fuck up. This isn't about you, actually. You know, it really does speak of how arrogant you are that you think that the shit I'm going through is about you. It's not. It's genuinely not. I have not spent the last 3 years tearing my hair out because, oh no, what does 4chan think of me? No, I spent the last 3 years tearing my hair out because people that I regard and that I hold in high regard and respect, and some people that I had considered friends, turned around and said that I was a transphobic monster, and like that's what's been causing me to lose sleep at night. Because I don't want to be a transphobic monster. Because I don't want to be a sexist monster. Because I don't want to say things that make these people uncomfortable. I don't care if I make 4chan uncomfortable. In fact, I'll feel like it's a good day if I make 4chan uncomfortable. But I don't want women and trans people and non-binary people to feel uncomfortable. And I have. And that's fucked up. And if I didn't actually fucking know for a fact that, like, these are people who would be fucking devastated and angry if I did commit suicide, there probably would be a bit of me saying I should commit suicide because what I have done is hurt them. Instead, I'm thinking I would like to commit suicide because actually my life is just fucking painful and tiring, and why the fuck should I continue to fuck with fucking capitalism when it is betraying its core principles to just fuck over everyone, including itself? But even so, I keep living because there are still people I like and care about, and people who don't want me dead, and because sometimes, most times, it's worth it. Because there are good Let's Plays, because there are good podcasts, because I love my writing, because there are beautiful people in the world, because there are adorable cats and dogs and hamsters, because sometimes when the sun comes out, or when it's snowing, or even when it's fucking rainy, I think the world is beautiful. Because even if I'm not good enough to be a friend or a good ally, I still think that podcasts like the School of Movies are fucking amazing, and I still follow left wing, LGBTQA plus podcasts. I mean, I'm fucking bisexual myself, so yeah. It'd be a bit odd if I turned into a fucking raging homophobe, considering that, you know, there are literally, you know, men that I would dearly like to fuck. And again, you know, you look at the history of men, you know, who have passed horrific homophobic laws and then being found having, you know, sexual encounters with men. I may not be an angel, but I'm still on their side. And that's what stresses me out. That's what causes me to lose sleep at night. And that's what depresses me like hell. Because the world is fucked and we're not doing anything to help it. There are people and they are brave, noble, and I admire them so much, but equally I know that my voice isn't needed and it's not helpful. I write because I want to write and because I like to write, and writing gives me purpose. I don't write because anybody needs to read my writing. I write with an eye to the audience because when I don't like what I write. But, there we are. I do like life. I have no intention of committing suicide. I have a lot that I want to live for. It's just that life can be very good at convincing me sometimes that those reasons actually don't matter so much. And if universal credit could improve in terms of being more understanding to autistic people, that would be good. But anyway, I'm going to go now because I have writing to do. Also, I need my morning cup of tea. Goodbye! And remember, if you are from 4chan or 8chan or Infinity Eternity Chan, I don't give a fuck off.